Okay, what is an isosceles triangle? Nobody knows? Two of the angles are the same, and the sides across from those equal angles are equal sides. Generally in here, you're gonna be told you're given an isosceles right triangle, which is a very specific triangle. Two sides that are the same are the two things that make the L of the right angle. So if you need to find the area of this, and I tell you the side of an isosceles right triangle is 3, you know the base and the height, half base times height, well, that's half of 3 times 3. I guess we did so much practice with the equilateral triangle that you guys wanted to slap a root 3 on everything. Don't do that. And in this one, from your pre-cal days, 1, root 2, you don't need a root 2 to find 2. You don't use that in the area. And someone was confused by the Plato problem wording, which the wording is gross, and I thought we'd gone over it. But if they say the shapes coming up out of the XY plane is whatever, or the hypotenuse of the triangle is in the XY plane. Here is the XY plane. It is the sheet of paper you're working with. And if the hypotenuse of this isosceles right triangle is on there, it means now you need that root 2 and to divide the hypotenuse by root 2 to get the lengths of the sides. But that's the solids, the shapes that behind Brady's head, the model back there, are isosceles right triangles with the hypotenuse in the XY plane. So just checking that, yeah.
Can you flip it like 180 degrees, or like this way, so then it's like standing out with the angle? Yeah. Like right now, the line's in between the two, and then the angle is like down, so it looks like kind of the cross section is like coming
Well,
like into it. Did you like do it?
I was intending for that to make it look like it was coming up, but draw it how you need to. I don't know. So, yeah. Area of the circle, pi r squared, not 2 pi r. Other things. I don't know. But it was a lot of wording that people were confused about. Draw pictures. You do get to use a calculator tomorrow, but you can't just say the answer is 3.785. Show me this, like the length of a curve. Show me that you're doing whatever that, and show me that you found dy dx somewhere on the paper and that you labeled it. Did you?
What would you do for the problem if the x-axis wasn't below both?
The x-axis wasn't below. Still top minus bottom gives you the length of this thing. And it doesn't matter if this is a number 3 and this is a number -4, 3 minus -4 is +7, which would be that length. So it doesn't matter that it dips below.
And if both of them are below the x-axis, would it still be the top minus bottom or the furthest?
So -3 minus -4 is -3 plus 4, so it's going to be positive. So it's still okay. Other issues with just what the hell does this question ask? Lost the homework. Were there questions on these? So it was just really cranking through it and making sure that you could use your calculator. And despite this being presented as 1 plus dy dx squared, typing on the calculator It might be easier to like not get the parentheses wrong if you do the dy dx and square whatever that nasty thing is, and then the plus one. My biggest concern is that you guys can't type, and all the more reason for please show me the setup that you intended to type in, because once the calculator enters in, I don't know what's going on. Because if you get the wrong answer, you need to show me more, as much as possible, that I can hang some partial credit on. You can just go to an answer, I don't know.
You went over this yesterday, but what do you do again if you have if you get undefined on the calculator?
That's a problem. If the calculator says you're undefined, like in our example here, we had it, you'll have your calculator tomorrow. If you see any undefined things, or when you did the derivative, we got dy dx equals 1 over 3 to the x to 2/3. That derivative is undefined at x equals 0. That is in the midst of this, there's some warnings. And be like, all right, can't do this according to x, so maybe flip it upside down. Solve for x and then find dx dy and see if that integration thing works. If they're both undefined, I didn't cover this, it's rarely asked, but if they ask you to integrate over a corner, Pythagorean theorem, it's not even calculus. Find the length of this straight line, find the length of that straight line. So you might need to break it into pieces. Hi. Okay. Yeah.
How do you know it to do it in terms of x and y? Will you just
Well, so yesterday we tried it. We did, okay, the length of the curve is the integral from the lower x value to the upper x value, 1 plus 1/3 x to the 2/3 squared dx, and the calculator said error. Said limit, dimension not reached. It told different people different things, but in the end it was an error. And the problem was because this derivative not defined at 0.
So should we just use x, and if it's not defined?
Well, I would look in advance. Be like, all right, my derivative, not undefined anywhere, because often it's like a polynomial or something, not undefined anywhere, so I'm good to go.
in the chapter review, I don't know if you have the problems. There's 22B, which is another one of the find the volume of this water's this thing's filling with water. And I was confused again.
Okay. Let me find it. Okay, evidently it does not want to open. Which one?
22B.
22B. Okay. How to find so it's asking what percent of the bowl is filled to K. Not sure this is a helpful thing to go over before the quiz or test. I'm not going to ask something like that. We can do that offline so that we don't
if we don't do that one, I'm confused about 29.
29. Okay, like a good review of all of them is,
Yeah.
hey, here's all of these things, how does it revolve? Again, good with those,
I was
cool.
good with 21. Just
29. Particle travels at 2 units per second along this curve. How long does it take to travel from the local minimum to local max to local min? Great question.
is it like the distance of the line?
Just making sure everybody's here. Hope people are running late.
Well, this is saying velocity is a constant of 2. So we need to find distance. Okay,
And then go, yeah.
distance, I need the slope. But I also need to use that slope to find the maxes and mins. So, Massimo, what do I have to do?
I'd say
Set the derivative equal to 0 and factoring. Jasper, what do I do with those critical points? What? Number line? Plug it in like 1, I get a negative. Plug it in 5,000, I get a positive, and plugging in, I don't know, negative 100, I also get a positive. So from local maximum to the local minimum, what is the distance traveled from time 0 to 2? 1 plus dy dx squared, so 3x squared minus 6x dx, and that's a squared. Like, and then that length times 2, because the velocity was 2 units per foot.
Are we ever gonna have to do like a the curve problem without a calculator?
I showed you how they showed it yesterday, where they said, find the area, find this, find that, and then the perimeter they said set up, but then do not evaluate. If they don't let you use a calculator, it's often like that. But I've seen this one as well. This one is non-calculated, and they want an answer. So try it. So I knew you were gonna ask. I had it ready. Come on, Dee.
Oh, was it the fundamental variable?
The problem in here, or no, the problem for homework, they just do it like because that's not even this unit. I don't remember how to do it. It's how you the modules. I feel like it's oh. But I don't know how to. Why do you do that? Choose like T. Oh, but then multiply that? I think you multiply that wrong, which is why you don't actually have that. Oh, so yeah. Top bound
Nightmare, what is the derivative of the integral? Fundamental theorem of calculus. What is it, Nick? The stuff inside, so tell me, what is the derivative of f of x? Square root of the stuff inside, everywhere that there was a t, what do I plug in? The 2x, the thing up top.
And then the bottom is
And I gotta remember something. Chain rule, so derivative of 2x. And then I heard people say, and the bottom just goes away. Because we shouldn't really write this, but 1 squared plus 1 then times the derivative of 1, which is 0, so that goes away. Find the length of the curve. Preston, what do I set up to find the length of the curve?
It's the square root of 1 plus the
It's the length of the curve.
integral.
Okay. The length of the curve, you said, is the integral of
the square
this
root of 1 plus
1 plus this
Yeah.
squared.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so let's see, what is that squared? Go old school so that we don't get confused. It looks like 4 times 4x squared plus 2x. Yes. And that it's non-calculator, integrated from 1 to 2. Non-calculator, and they're expecting a number. Something's gotta happen. What?
Can you factor?
Yeah, how does it factor?
4x and then 4x in the other one. That was
Okay, so it's just asking us to integrate 4x plus 1. Now you can't get an answer. So Gabriel, if they ask you to do this length of a curve and give me a number and you're not given a calculator, it's a hard question. Like now it's easy. But Preston, if you can get the square, you're so screwed. So it's not my goal to scare you, it's my goal to inform you of the mean things I've seen AP do. And to present you on your tests with some happy medium between Delta Math and actual AP being mean. You all look through. Okay, we have 10 minutes left of our 2-hour delay day. What do you guys wanna? And the circuit training thing, the solutions that are posted, like actual solutions are in the handout folder, they're right. The number, I had my student Nate do it, he didn't quite understand how circuit training works, and he marked the first one that the problem went to as number 1, rather than going from number 1 to number 2. So all of the answers on the back of that sheet are off by 1. Yay, sorry about that. Oops. But again, all of the solutions with all of the work shown are posted online, and Lucas is brilliant. They're right. Just didn't understand that the counting after number 1 comes number 2, not number 1, number 1. I don't know. What's on the test? Those are the most hated ones. This is another FRQ based on these things. So you need to be able to find area, you need to be able to find volume. Are you guys okay with rotating around Y stuff and X stuff, knowing if it makes a solid versus a whole? And understanding when it says things like, the shape is coming up out of the XY plane and they are semicircles. Find the area of the volume, I should say, of that shape. Do things like that?
Yeah, I have a question. If they give you like an equation and it's like a circle and there's a shape of a circle, like the radius or the shape length, it's, or like the diameter, I guess, is like twice, is the actual equation for the circle. But if it's a parabola, then it's like the
Oh,
equation
that
for
one's
the
horrible. I mean,
Okay,
it's actually not, but,
okay. Because like for some of them, it's like half of the circle is the radius. Because the whole thing's a diameter, so if you have a semicircle, then like half of the circle is
so if it's X equals Y squared and I said semicircles are coming up out of this?
Yeah.
Perpendicular to this way?
it's still the top minus the.
Yeah.
Okay. But technically, like, yeah, I guess for that. But then after that.
So the diameter, shouldn't we use lowercase? The diameter in this case would be
Root x minus.
minus 2 root x, which is 2 root x, which is
Radius is, yeah.
so it actually, okay, nice, you guys have
Yeah, 'cause that's.
areas, root x squared.
That's
That's
just
golden,
confusing,
but it,
like, the, you know.
but it takes a while to get there.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Alright, guys, actually try this question.
I'm saying it's just like maybe it's been a bad.
If I could buy it, I think I'm calling.
X.
Oh wait, yeah, wait, this is actually about.
Whatever things, like, if you're really like, oh, this is like,
Yeah, because you're and then there are two separate ones that you have to do.
And my imagination, I know my imagination. Miss Pascal, can you zoom in? It'll be easy,
Are you supposed to like know it? Well, I guess it's. You're right.
Okay, yeah, that worked too, oh my god.
So guys, there was a good question that just came up. Would you be allowed to use a calculator? Free response questions 1 and 2 are the only ones you get a calculator for. So 3, 4, and 5, no. You get a calculator on my test tomorrow though. And that part A saying find the area of R means it's doable without a calculator. find that area. Are you guys gonna do top minus bottom or right minus left? Top minus bottom. Oh my goodness, yes. So the top curve, minus the bottom curve, integrated over 0 to 1. How do we integrate x e to the x squared? U substitution. Please remember we still have that. What's the u value? X squared. E to the u, 1/2 du. When x is 1, u is 1. When x is 0, u is 0. Well, that's lucky that the numbers stayed the same. Then I integrated one part, I didn't integrate the other. What's the integral of e to the u? E to the u. So plugging in the 1/2 e minus e to the 0, 1, it's not 0. So it looks like 1/2 e plus 1/2. And on the AP exam, this is a third of one of the free response questions. 1 point for setting this up correctly. Oops. And then 1 point for being able to integrate the whole thing. If you didn't do the U substitution correctly, you don't get that point and you don't get the answer. Like, if you integrated wrong but then plugged your numbers in right, you're like, so what? I don't care. You need to jump this high to get the last point.
What if you got the right derivative for e to the, or for x e to the x squared, but didn't show
Doesn't matter. They just, you can show a whole lot of work and it doesn't do anything. But if you just get that, you know it. Sorry.